This story takes place long ago in the dark, dark year of 2019. In 2019, a great tragedy occurred. No, not the Notre Dame burning down. Worse. No, not the Amazon burning down. A lot of things burned down in 2019. Worse. No, not even the Cats movie. Worse. Stadia was announced. It was a dark and dusty March 19th, and then a mouse was stirring. And then bam! A bald man named Phil, who kinda looks like the grandma cat,
It looks like grandma, the fucking thing!
wants to show you the next great console. A console to rival the bests, like the Ouya, the Apple Pippin, the Virtual Boy, and even the Soldier Boy console. By the way, Soldier Boy just announced he's making a new console, and I, for one, cannot wait for more lawsuits. My personal favorite part from this video is when he has to mash the climb button 4 times before it registers the input, and it has input lag. My other favorite part is when they say that all of the games will run 4K 60 FPS, which is totally true, and they're most definitely not being sued right now for lying to everyone.
We couldn't be happier to be bringing Doom Eternal to Stadia, and are thrilled to announce that the game will be capable of running at true 4K resolution with HDR color at an unrelenting 60 frames per second.
All in all, the video makes Stadia look promising, but when you strip away all of the flavor text and straight up lies, you realize that Stadia is basically a glorified game launcher like Steam and Epic, but you have to pay for it, and it's worse in every way. One of the things they showed off was Stadia Crowdplay, where you could play multiplayer games with your favorite content creators. However, Stadia Crowdplay was not part of it when it launched, and took a whole year just to get into limited testing. And at the time of making this video, it's still not finished, about almost 2 years later. They also showed off YouTube video click-to-play integration, which was not in it when it came out, and still isn't. One feature that did make it in, though, was crowd choice, which allows streamers to make polls for their Twitch chat. Do you notice the problem here? You can already do that on Twitch. The crossplay with other people is pretty much non-existent, as only a handful of games actually support it, and they did a terrible job at explaining what Stadia even is. Most people thought it would be like Netflix for games, where you would pay a subscription fee every month for access to a bunch of games like Game Pass. Instead, you have to pay full price for each individual game, and you get free lag included. At the beginning of February, Stadia shut down their in-house game-making studio and said they'll no longer be making their own games for the platform. Did I mention they didn't tell their staff they were going to do this, and were actually praising the studio just a week before the unexpected shutdown? They also had some really odd advertising, like talking about the controller's color being gender neutral. Which is good for me, because anytime someone tries to hand me a controller, I have to make sure that it is in fact a manly controller. It's theorized that the reason behind the studio shutting down was because Google put all of their Stadia eggs in the Cyberpunk 2077 basket, and then the basket lit on fire, and was shot, and then nuked.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Because of Cyberpunk's rocky launch? With unstable frame rates, poor image quality, actual lies and false advertising, an unclear business model, and Google's history, I don't think it's a long shot to say that Stadia probably won't make it to 2023. Oh, and did I mention they spent $20 million just to port Assassin's Creed Odyssey?